Welcome back to our fourth and final part of the topic, spend less. Spend less is one of the four concepts that we're exploring in this Advent conspiracy: to worship fully, spend less, give more, and love all. And the idea of spend less and to conspire to undermine this culture that is consumed with materialism, that is on an expressway of greed, and we want to let off the accelerator and take the exit ramp and say, that's not what a Christ follower does. And Jesus gave us those warnings about not serving God and money, and to be aware of the dangers and temptations of having stuff and acquiring and desiring stuff can be. We began earlier in the week by talking about how Christians need to resist the culture that's pushing and pressuring us away from worshiping the Christ to worshiping stuff. And we have to resist that pressure. Then we also talked about reducing the price, or the amount that we actually spend on Christmas stuff, and we gave some practical how-tos and examples of that. Today I want us to remember, number 3, the purpose of Christmas. Because it's not enough just to say, all right, I need to be disciplined. I'm not going to spend as much money, and it's not wise to overspend, and it's not good character for the kids to get everything they want. Okay, so it's not enough just to do that and to experience those benefits. Because we want to spend less in order to focus more on Christ. That's the whole purpose. The purpose of Christmas is to have this worship experience of Christ and to thank God for what He's done by sending us His Son, Jesus Christ. And Paul says if we had the proper relationship to money and to stuff, 2 things are going to happen. I want you to see this with me in 1 Timothy 6, 17 through 19. Command those who are rich in this present world, and by the way, that's you and me. Most of us have far more than other people in the developing world. Command those who are rich in the present world not to be arrogant, or to put their hope in wealth. By the way, it is arrogant to just consume more and more stuff and to stack our garages full and to buy a lot of things we don't use or even need. Don't be arrogant or put your hope in wealth, which is so uncertain, but to put their hope in God, who richly provides us with everything for our enjoyment. God's already given us a ton of stuff, and He loves to lavish His good gifts upon us. So we need to recognize that He's already done that, and He is continuing to do that. Verse 18, command them to do good, to be rich in good deeds, and to be generous and willing to share. And in this way they will lay up treasures for themselves as a firm foundation for the coming age, so that they may take hold of the life that is truly life. 2 things are going to happen when you focus on Christ at Christmas. When you take your focus off of the greed and the materialism and the consumerism and you focus it on Christ, 2 things are going to be evident in your life. You're going to depend on God more. You're going to depend on Him. You're going to trust in His provision. You're going to be content with what He's already provided. And He becomes all you really need. That if you have God, everything else is, wow, nice, great, fine. I've got God. That's all I really want. That's all I really need. And that's what Paul says the proper relationship with money is about. That when I have God, and he says, put their hope in God. That's what my Christmas needs to look like. And then the second result is not just a dependence upon God, but a demonstration of good deeds. That what you and I will be able to do if we're really worshiping Christ is we'll begin to see our money and our time and our resources as leverages and opportunities to do good, to give, to serve, to help the needy, to help the single mom who's struggling, to work in a homeless shelter. I don't know what it looks like. Maybe it's to save back a little bit of that money so you can go on a mission trip next year. And you'll have the resources that you could have used to do that instead of consuming it all upon yourselves and people around you. So you'll be able to have, when you have that right relationship with God and with Christ, your dependence upon Him and your demonstration of good deeds. So that's my final challenge for you. That as we have this juxtaposition of worship and all this gift giving and stuff that's going on in this time of year, and we want to worship Christ and we don't want to be consumed with materialism, that what we need to do is to put our dependence among God. He is the one that we love. He's the one that we serve, the one that we worship. I need to demonstrate that by doing good deeds. What good deeds are you going to do? Are you going to do something this Christmas? Maybe take some of that money you probably would have otherwise just spent on things around you, or spend it to someone who has much less than you. Maybe you need to save that money, as I said, to use it for something next year. Maybe God wants you to go somewhere or to do something for someone, and He's depending on you to use your resources to do just that. So my challenge for you as you spend less this Christmas is resist the pressure of the culture. Reduce the price that you spend, and remember the purpose for Christmas. God bless you, and Merry Christmas.